What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we're going to be talking about Wish stock, context logic, ticker symbol WISH. Let's take a look at the chart right here. We have had a past couple of crazy days. You can see that yesterday we were spiking up massively. We jumped off the $5 level, moved all the way up to 550, and today we continued that pattern. We moved up to 631 at our highs. Now we're trying to hold 6 at end of day, and this is actually a very important level. $6 right here is very important for Wish stock because if you look at the past, what has happened with Wish is we have been on a massive downtrend. Now, $6 did actually act as a key support level for a certain amount of time in the past when we were struggling to break through it. We struggled around $6 for very many days, right? A week or more, about 2 weeks actually, until we finally broke through and continued on a downwards trend. Now we have regained that $6 level. And I think that this is going to be a very bullish next couple of days as long as we can maintain it, right? If we drop down below, then that wouldn't be great, right? We would be essentially getting rejected off the $6 level and likely continue moving downwards. Now, it's not going to be just a straight drop, right? If we do dip below, then there is the potential that we can play around it like we did earlier today, right? We struggled to break through 6 for a couple of hours and eventually moved up above it. Now, if we struggle to move below it, then that's actually good, right? We want to struggle with 6 for a little bit before moving on. And that's how you're going to know that Wish is ready to run, right? When it actually starts moving away from $6 in a significant way to one side or the other, it's likely going to continue running in that way, at least in my opinion, right? Based off the TA. Now, there are a couple of reasons why Wish is running. First of all, if you see the volume, it's up massively, okay? A ton of people have been talking about this stock, driving the volume up 112 million shares traded today, and we haven't even gotten to power hour yet. We're currently only 15 minutes through it. So we still have a lot of shares to go, and this just massively outweighs all the shares that were traded the previous many days, right? You add them all up together, and it's barely anything when compared to these past 2 days when we have had massive run-ups in Wish's price. Now, obviously, there are some reasons for this, right? Wish is a somewhat heavily shorted stock. If you look at the short interest, it's 12% of the free float, which isn't the largest percentage of the free float that we've seen. However, the days to cover on loan is 2.7, which is actually fairly significant, right? So if all the shorts had to cover, what this days to cover means is that it would take 2.7 days worth of volume for them to buy back all the shares that they have shorted. So it's actually quite a few shares, 53 million that they have shorted, and that would actually create a massive upswing in price if those shorts did have to cover. Now, obviously, a lot of shorts were starting to short this thing when the price was higher, so it will probably be a while before they have to cover, right? Because if you look at the Ortex data, you can see that a lot of shorts were building up their position when this thing was trading around 6 to 8, maybe $10. So there are still some shorts who are in the money, and we're really going to have to work hard to push this stock up if we want to see those shorts out of the money, worried about their position, and potentially covering the short sale of this stock, right? We're going to have to push it up quite a bit more price-wise. However, we have been doing a good job of that. If you look at Google Trends, you can see that we have been making records the past 2 days, right? New records. We had an 85 search record for yesterday and a 100, which is the highest rank you can get today. So hopefully tomorrow we will see continued momentum on Wish stock, which will likely drive up Google Trends data, which will likely, contribute to more people hearing about the stock through recommendations. So I think that if we can keep seeing bullish patterns on this chart, we can keep seeing bullish patterns on this chart. That's usually the way it goes with these kinds of plays with stocks that are running mostly off momentum, and that is why Wish is running for the most part, right? You can also see that on Reddit and Wall Street Bets, Wish is the number 3 talked about stock. Now, this is actually a big deal because we are up 19 spots, and whenever a stock is in the top, really the top 5, but especially the top 3, which Wish now is, that's a really big deal when it's on Reddit and Wall Street Bets. These are the top trending stocks on Reddit in the past 24 hours, and you can see that we are up 740% mention-wise, up to 437 mentions and 4,300 upvotes. So very impressive on Wish's part. We've really been able to run this thing up over the past 2 days, and it's likely, I think, that we will continue running up because of a couple of other catalysts. First of all, on StockTwits, you can see we are also ranking. So this is really the trifecta, right? We like to see ourselves ranking on StockTwits, Reddit, and Google, because those are typically the 3 most important places where stocks are getting talked about nowadays, right? At least for these smaller market cap, not that Wish is really that small of a market cap, but smaller market cap momentum or squeeze stock plays, right? That's what we like to see. StockTwits, Reddit, and Google, huge search volumes on all of them, and a bunch of posts and mentions. So that's what we're liking with Wish mention-wise and popularity-wise. But reasons that it could run up, we already mentioned the potential for a short squeeze, but that is going to require a lot of upwards price momentum. What could actually be affecting us in the near future is the potential for a gamma squeeze. If you look at all the open interest call options, this is the 22nd of October, the expiration date for that day, and the strike prices for $5, $5.50, and $6. $6 recently just fell out of the money moments ago. If you look at the 1 minute chart, you can see that we just recently dipped below 6. That's why we're going to want to be above 6, right, by the end of the day, or potentially, opening above 6 tomorrow. That's what we're really going to want to see, because that's 20,000 open interest call options that would then be in the money, which are otherwise out of the money, right? In addition, we have $25,000 or $25,005.50 call options and $7,005 call options. All right, we really want all these call options to be in the money, because that's going to incentivize institutions and people who are selling those call options to buy up shares of Wish, because they have likely sold these call options naked, and they're going to then have to cover their positions by buying up shares to hand out to people who the contracts will then be in the money, right? So they'll have to hand out the shares to whoever's bought the contracts. Now, October 22nd, that is not far off. That's in 2 days. So we don't have very long to push this thing up and to keep this thing above 6. But basically, we're going to want to keep it above 6 the next 2 days, and that could lead us into the next leg of this rally. Ideally, we would be hitting up $8 fairly soon. If we do want to really keep the momentum going, this does have the potential to explode. You've seen in the past, we have exploded several dollars at a time before taking a bit of a break. So I am somewhat confident that we can get through not just 6, but hopefully 7 and 8 as well, right? That's my hope with Wish. We'll just have to see what happens with it. But this is definitely a hot stock to keep your eye on, right? Obviously, we are faltering a bit right now, and it would be kind of bearish, really, to see us end below $6 on the day, right? We still have 39 minutes left to see what happens with this. It's always possible that we'll rebound, but I really wouldn't like to see us ending below 6. That would actually be a bit of a bearish indication, especially, on the institutions' parts. It's likely that institutions are going to try to push us below 6, because there are so many open interest call options for the $6 strike price that they do not want those to be in the money. They might be willing to increase their short positions if they're brave enough, right? As of right now, the short interest has actually gone down by 0.02%, so not a massive change. Potentially it was lower earlier in the day, and it's been rising as shorts have been getting worried, trying to push us down during the past couple of hours. However, the utilization is fairly high, right? It's 79, so very high utilization. There's only about 21% of the shares left on loan available to be shorted, so the shorts really can't do much damage by shorting this thing, right? They can try to short it, but it's going to be tough for them. They're going to have to find some other means, maybe some kind of propaganda, maybe just shut down whichever posts are propaganda, or whichever posts are pumping this. We're going to have to see what they try and do, right? Because they really don't want this thing to end the day above $6. It's going to be very tough for them. It's going to put them in a tough spot if it does. And they really don't want to see this thing keep flying up, because there are still a lot of open interest call options all the way from $7 to $8, right? There's still quite a few. $8 is where it kind of starts to wane a bit. We're only getting a couple of thousand for each of those prices. But overall, Wish does look fairly promising, right? If you actually look at the data and you can see how many open interest call options there are, how heavily shorted it is, and how primed it is for an explosion, because it has been in a downtrend for a very long time. There's likely a lot of pent-up momentum in this stock and people who will be trying to return it to prior levels. There could be quite a run on this. Obviously, it's not guaranteed. This thing could continue tanking down below the $6 level. That could act as a resistance for us instead of a support. We could have just blipped above it today and shoot down tomorrow. That's another possibility, okay? And we'll have to keep an eye on the pre-market tomorrow. I will likely be doing a live stream to cover this, and a bunch of other stocks if you're interested in that. So other than that, guys, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.